Welcome! Today we'll be reviewing the Cellars Sauvignon Blanc from California. My name is David Hunter. I'm the Director of Content and Education with Teuton Selection. Let's start by looking at the label. Cellars Sauvignon Blanc. You'll notice it has a very attractive gold script across the label. That's for all the text, including the family-owned estates icon in the bottom corner. This is the 2021 vintage that I'm reviewing currently today. Also states Cellars on the neck of the bottle, and it has a screw cap, which I always love because it ensures that the wine is going to be nice, crisp, and refreshing, and it's not going to be corked. You don't have any issues there. So the Cellars Sauvignon Blanc. Let's go over a few of the main points. This Sauvignon Blanc is made with top quality premium Sauvignon Blanc grapes. And they're from several vineyard sources in Lodi. So this is Lodi, California. It's due east of San Francisco, roughly. And one of the main vineyards this comes from is the Mohr-Fry Ranch vineyard. And this is a 150-year-old farm. It's fifth generation of owners for the family. And they're certified sustainable. So that's one of the main sources of the 2021 vintage of Cellars. 2021 was also a fantastic vintage, so very consistent, very good quality, cool, dry conditions, no heat waves, no cold snaps or frost, and no impacts from any wildfire, smoke, or issues there. The conditions were very dry throughout the vintage, which made for very small, concentrated berries. And that's very important because it gives you a lot of concentration and great flavors and acidity in the final wine. Here's a map of Lodi. So you'll see, as I mentioned, due east of San Francisco. And here you have very cool breezes that come in from the west, from the Sacramento River Delta. And it cools off the traditionally hot area of Lodi. So that gives you cooler temperatures, especially at night. It gives you lower nighttime temperatures, which cools things down and helps retain the acidity in the wine. And this is especially important with Sauvignon Blanc. So it gives you a nice, crisp, refreshing wine once it's produced and picked. It's harvested in over a period of time, actually. So from early August through early September. So they're waiting to pick the grapes and go through the vineyards only when they're precisely ready. And sometimes they'll go through the vineyard more than once. So they're really paying attention to detail and only capturing and harvesting the grapes at the peak of ripeness. Here is a picture of some of the vineyards here in Lodi, and a picture of some of the Sauvignon Blanc grapes on the vine that were used for the production of Cellars Sauvignon Blanc. And I include this picture. It's really beautiful in the springtime in Lodi. So this is wild mustard blooms, and this is here in the springtime. So producing wines sustainably, one of the methods is to plant cover crops, and mustard seed is a popular one. So once the mustard dies in early spring, they till it into the soil and it adds extra nutrients. But it's also a way of more naturally producing wine, so you don't have to use additional chemicals or pesticides. Let's speak about the vinification. This is 100% Sauvignon Blanc. It's fermented and aged in temperature-controlled stainless steel fermentation tanks, top of the line. And this one specifically was kept at 58 degrees. And keeping the fermentation temperature cool at around 58 gives you maximum aromatics. So it increases the aromatic and the fruit expression in the final wine. This wine was produced 100% whole cluster fermentation and pressed. So what that means is they harvest and they keep the grape bunches whole, and they put the whole bunches right into the fermenter so they don't crush it or destem it ahead of times. And what including the stems in the fermentation of the wine does is it adds complexity and balance to the final wine. So it's very complicated, but when you're dealing with great winemakers, what they can do is utilize the stems to really create a delicacy, a balance, a freshness in the wine. It also increases the ability for this wine to age. You won't normally age Sauvignon Blanc too long, but this wine will easily keep for 2, 3, 4 years, no problem. So those stems, keeping the stems in there while they're fermenting, really adds complexity, flavor, but it balances out the acidity a bit as well. So the result here is a crisp, refreshing, but very delicate wine, lots of great aromatics. And I have a picture here just to give you an idea of the stainless steel fermentation tanks. And let's give this wine a taste. So I have a glass of it here in front of me. So nice, pale lemon, a bit golden in color. Very traditional nose for Sauvignon Blanc from California. Nice fresh bouquet of honeydew, melon, light floral notes, bit of tropical fruit like guava in there. This is a light-bodied wine, light to medium in body. Very crisp, very refreshing, great acidity. That's the first thing you'll notice, is it's very bright and crisp and zippy. Touch of minerality there, and that really gives you really a nice, elegant, but long finish. I could still taste this wine and all the aromatics and complexities quite a while after you finish tasting it. So nice balance on that. This would be excellent as an aperitif, so you could have it on its own before a meal, or it would be great with a variety of dishes such as seafood, grilled chicken, great with green vegetables, grilled vegetables, salads, any kind of an herb-forward dish, something that might include pesto sauces or chimichurri sauces would be excellent. And let's review a few of the final talking points. So Cellars is, once again, a family-owned and operated estate. And their vineyards are sustainably farmed and produced. It's produced from 100% Sauvignon Blanc from Lodi. There's no oak aging in this wine at all, so it's 100% stainless steel. And the idea there was to keep the aromatics, to keep it bright, crisp, and refreshing. So this is a great wine any time of year, and once again, really good with food pairing. The 2021 vintage was a fantastic year, so a great vintage, especially for white wines and Sauvignon Blanc in Northern California. And this is really a unique selling point that it was produced 100% whole cluster. This is pretty rare in the production of wine, and especially with Sauvignon Blanc, but it just adds that additional complexity and layers of flavor here. So once again, thank you for your time. My name is David Hunter, and I'll leave my contact information here. Feel free to contact me with more questions about Col Sauvignon Blanc or any additional wines from Tucson Selection. Thank you for your time.